The hottest counties are the ones colored. Is that right, Blake?
So the colored ones are in the top third.
Got it. Okay, got it.
So we don't see the rank or anything from
No.
that,
But I'm just saying, though, that correlates what you're saying, Don, that even the ones that were destroyed by the flood are rising up and voting, especially because of the lack of response right now.
Yeah, I would, like I said, I was in Yancey County. That was the one that was a similar thing. It was the highest turnout in North Carolina, the hardest hit, probably the hardest hit county, there. And, the fire chief, he said, we were there with the great people at Samaritan's Purse. Like, if you guys want to contribute to that thing, like, go check out, like, SamaritansPurse.org or
they're
.com.
amazing.
I mean, we're flying in on Black Hawk helicopters. We're dropping off generators. I didn't want to be there because I'm taking up space that could maybe be a generator, and I just didn't want to be that guy. But I did want to see it with my own eyes because I wanted to see what's true and what's not. It's much worse than anything you actually saw on TV. Much more devastation. I saw the worst of Mother Nature, but also the best of humanity. And some of these people, they came up, when they saw me, they were like, oh, thank God, someone's just listening. Someone actually cares. And it was like, well, where's FEMA? We haven't seen him yet. I'm asking the police chief. Like, these are not people that are biased. And, I think some of the Army reserves and stuff like that were helping. And, but FEMA was missing. And Samaritan's Purse was doing all this incredible work. I mean, literally running missions, multiple Black Hawk helicopters flying in that they have on their own. This is their backyard. They do this stuff around the world in disaster relief, but it literally happened in their backyard in like Boone, North Carolina. And they were absolutely, I wish we could literally just eliminate FEMA, give them all the budget in the world to expand their operations center. I mean, it looked like something that you'd imagine being the CIA. It was incredible. And so, that's, real Americans doing real work, whether it was delivering generators, whether it was helping some of the areas where, people's homes were literally, I saw homes where the water line was above their refrigerator. They're shoveling out mud from their kitchens because it was 3 feet of mud in there and ripping out all. I mean, this isn't, days or weeks of work. This is years, if ever, in terms of recovery. And it was being done by ordinary citizens. Volunteers from all over the country came in to help. I mean, it was special, and the government felt like it was totally absent.
Let's play cut 100 here, and I want you to react to it. And is it correct? Don Lemon is back on CNN. Is that right?
It's 99. It looks like.
I'm sorry.
They got the numbers backwards.
99 is the image. I thought.
I think we
okay, whatever.
Them.
Play the Don Lemon clip. Whatever.
Love
us
some Don Lemon.
A lot of voters, and I will just say that you texted me right around the Democratic convention, and you said, I am talking to people, and Kamala Harris has a problem with black men.
Yeah, and I told the campaign I did not hear from them. I mean, who am I for them to get back to me? But there's a problem. And look, I went from battleground state to battleground state. When they invited me to the convention, I didn't just want to fly there. I said, I'm going to go and talk to voters in battleground states, and I did. It was not curated. I went up to people just doing man on the street. Who are you going to vote for? Black men. And time after time after time, they said, I'm voting for Donald Trump.
Why?
Now, their reasons why. They said, because most of the time they said, well, for economic reasons, right? Or because he gave me a stimulus check. And I had to correct them over and over and tell them where that stimulus check came from a Democratic Congress and from Nancy Pelosi. And that Donald Trump actually held the check up so that his name could be put on the check. So they think they got the check directly from him. Meanwhile, Joe Biden has given 1 or 2 stimulus checks as well, but they seem not to know and understand that. You can vote for whoever you want to vote for, but the reasons that you're going to vote for them, I think that they should be accurate and factual, and you should know why you're supporting someone.
Well, I didn't know Don Lemon was back on CNN.
I didn't either, but I don't think a stimulus check matters when your cost of living goes up.
That's right.
25%, when, cost of groceries are up 50%, when, everything across the board that you need. I mean, and the bias out there is so crazy. I always talk about like the Paul Krugman, we have inflation under control, which is cost. And then I'm looking, I'm like, what are you talking? Like, I mean, I have an economics major from Wharton. Like, I think I should probably have a decent understanding of that. I don't see it with my own eyes. And then I'm looking at the chart, and there's a little asterisk at the bottom. Paul Krugman, right? He won the Nobel Prize in economics. So you'd think he'd know something about economics. You'd be wrong, because the asterisk said, if you discount or don't include housing, transportation, food, and energy. Oh, that's wonderful. Like, we have inflation totally under control if you take out literally everything that you need to exist. Now, I know, Democrats, I'm sure there's a couple things that, they can buy that are a little bit cheaper that no other American would ever want or even imagine purchasing. But food, energy, housing, and transportation. If you take out all of that, everyone's doing great. I mean, these people are sick and they don't get it. you heard me say the story earlier, Charlie, when we were talking to a group out here in Arizona. It's like, right? I was just, because it hit me hard. And I'm not one of the guys on CNN that, I'm pretty self-aware. Like, I get it. I'm the son of a billionaire from Manhattan. Like, I'm really blessed. I understand that. I don't pretend to be something I'm not. I took my kids on a fishing trip last summer, and we came back. We went to McDonald's. It was a 10-year-old, a 14-year-old, and me, and it was $48. And I was like, damn, that's expensive. Like, if Donald Trump Jr. has sticker shock at McDonald's, it's not going to change my habits. I'm not virtue signaling and pretending it's, like whatever. But if I have sticker shock at McDonald's, it's a problem. It's a serious problem. Like, if it bothers me, what does it do to a family making $50,000?
I make a good living. I mean, obviously, what you said. When I go to the grocery store, I'm like, wow, like $800 is, like,
it's a lot.
I mean, it's a lot. I can afford it and super blessed. But I want to get Jack in on this. Jack, I mean, the disconnect between what the media is saying and average voters is remarkable. And what'd you make of that Don Lemon clip?
Look, I mean, that Don Lemon thing is hilarious. The fact that CNN is so desperate now that they're bringing back Don Lemon, that they've brought back Brian Stelter as well, because they can't apparently find anyone to shovel their crap in a sycophantic way, as much as this is really kind of telling that nobody wants to go down with the ship, CNN. Look, and just talking about inflation, right? So Tanya Tay, my wife, had a situation where, she had this tweet where she was talking about the same thing about going to the grocery store. And, Tanya's got an interesting, people know her background. She's from the Soviet Union, came to the U.S. from Eastern Europe, but she still very much has that sort of sticker shock of like, why does food here cost so much? And then when she goes to the grocery store and, we've got 2 little boys and myself and, we have family in and out all the time. So she's like, wait, why is this food costing me so much? And she runs, she like keeps the books in the house. So she will tell me that she knows that the food is going way, way, way up. Yeah. We're spending way more money than we ever used to. And for her, it's like, we do well. We do very fine. But it's still, to her, just this massive sticker shock. And like, I always joke that lately, it's like I walk out the house, like I walk out the door with the family and I spend $100 before I get to the car these days, totally. I swear.
Yeah. Well, but it also, you bring out Don Lemon to talk about, like, I don't know, not exactly representative. Like, I think Antonio Brown has a much better feel of what's going on with, like, African-American men to explain it. I mean, it's sort of funny watching, him, all the things that he's doing out there right now, and he's having, like, a real conversation. Like, Hampton's Don Lemon is probably not the best representative of it. Like, it's that pandering. They really don't understand, because they're incapable of either putting themselves in those shoes. They really look down on all. They just, it's a reliable voter, but otherwise they wouldn't be caught dead hanging out with some of these ordinary Americans. And I think that was sort of what surprised the whole world about Trump is, he doesn't pretend to be something he's not, but he was still relatable to people, and he understood their problems because he grew up on construction sites, and he understood those workers. He listens to them. There's a difference. The Democrats don't have any of that. I remember a couple of weeks ago, with the Tim Walz thing, MAGA's really afraid of his masculinity. And I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like, I haven't seen like a wrist so limp in a long time. And I grew up in New York City. Like I don't know. Like, I'm just not intimidated. No. He's a big gun guy. I watched him the other day take 45 seconds to load a shotgun. I'm like, I'll do the video this weekend if I ever make it home. I'm on the road too much, but like, you can blindfold me, hand me 3 shotgun shells. I will load a shotgun in 4 seconds. Like, it's not that hard, but that's the left's idea of masculinity.
No, it was not an autoloader.
No, it was an autoloader, but that's just, it's easier for it. I mean,
no, that's what I'm asking.
It's like you drop a shell in, you drop the slide, you put 2 in the bottom. Like, it's not that hard.
But also, he was bragging about how he's like this shooter. He's
a great trap shooter, and then, if you're a competitive trap shooter, you're probably also not shooting a flat grip gun. Minor details, you can do it. I will occasionally, but like, if you're a dedicated, so they try to catch these sound bites, but then anyone who actually is in the know, anyone who actually does this stuff, like, it's laughable. They went on a 3.5-hour pheasant hunt. They shot at one bird and didn't kill any, because they probably did that on purpose because they couldn't actually kill. They just want to appear like they're hunters, but they wouldn't actually do something.